name is Kristaps and I'm integration engineer at Zabbix. And previous two presentations were quite serious, and this one is going to be a bit more laid back. I'm going to tell you about our cloud templates, give you an idea of what can you monitor with them, and also tell you about what's new in cloud templates. So first of all, we're going to look at Microsoft Azure. We have integrations for multiple cloud providers, but Azure is the first one we're going to talk about. Each of these cloud providers have many services, and we cannot possibly support all of them. So what we try to do is find the most popular ones, the most critical ones that are needed for the users, and also listen to you or Zabbix community for your requests for these services and try to implement them. So for Azure, we have virtual machines, Azure Cosmos DB, then regular databases, and storage accounts for your data object needs. For each of those templates, I'm going to quickly show some of the metrics that are available for monitoring, some most relevant ones, because there's a lot of them, and it would be very boring to go through all of them. So for virtual machines, what's essential is availability, if the machine is available, metrics about their disks, networking, and resources such as CPU and memory. For Cosmos DB, you can also find this availability, but also some metrics that would be related to Cosmos DB itself, such as metrics about your requests, latency for these requests, and maybe there are errors, as well as usage of your indexes, data, and partitions. These three database templates I've combined single one. They're because they're mostly similar and some metrics overlap. So these templates are available for single server as well as flexible server. Here you can monitor its networking, also resources, connections that are going on to these databases, and also errors. And for storage accounts, it's metrics related to your data objects, such as blobs, files, queues, tables, and transactions. For Azure, that's it. Next one we're going to look at is Amazon AWS. Huge infrastructure, huge ecosystem of services. So what we also support is EC2, which is virtual machines, RDS for database needs, S3 for data objects. These are the ones that you might be already familiar with, but we have two new templates, which is ECS cluster and also Cost Explorer. So by looking at EC2 template here, important part is CPU credits, because you've probably heard that someone has started some VM in AWS, did some work and forgot about it after the work was done, and it continued running into the background, and those CPUs were taken and the CPU hours were counting, and later got a bill in thousands of dollars. So what's good here is that CPU credits monitoring will tell you when you're running out of credits, when you're in surplus, and you can also create predictive triggers. So Zabbix already tells you that it looks like that you will run out of credits in 1 hour, and you can shut down the VM before bad stuff has happened. Also, metrics about elastic block storage, and the CloudWatch for your alarms and networking data. Here we also do dynamic low-level discovery, which is it will discover resources dynamically that are in your environment. For example, for alarms, all the alarms will be discovered, and you will see their state and the reason of why this alarm is even here. Similar for volumes, also volumes discovered. You will see their throughputs, read-write bytes, and its status. For RDS, you can also see that there's CPU credits monitoring, which is very nice. Some disk metrics, also the EBS and CloudWatch. Here we do discover also Aurora DB engine metrics. Here you can see that we have engine status, networking, operations, which are essentially just your regular queries like insert, update, delete, and replications, which is metric how in time, how much your backup database lags behind the primary database, which is also quite important. Then Aurora MySQL metrics. Here you can see data about transactions, data definition language, and data manipulation language. Requests. Here you can see also for those requests latency and throughput, and such as also operations and replications as mentioned previously. For alarms, use standard like as before, alarm state and reason, and also discover events that are happening and see the message of this event and date when this event has been triggered, basically. For simple storage service, we have also latency, replication, and also bucket alarms discovery with state and reason. So for our one of our new templates in this AWS is ECS cluster, basically for your containers. Here you can monitor container instance count, also resources such as CPU, memory, and network, and services. Also, it's possible to discover your services automatically and see these resources for each service separately, also as tasks and network utilization as well. Similar for alarms, state, and reason. A really nice template is Cost Explorer. You can monitor your costs on your AWS environment. Here are 3 discovery rules, which is basically daily costs by services, monthly costs also grouped by services, and then monthly costs altogether. Here we can see there's a blended daily cost for each of those services, blended monthly cost for each of services that are discovered, and the monthly costs altogether. That's about AWS. Then also, I would say fairly new integration is with GCP from Google, Google Cloud Platform. Here we support also the major stuff that's needed. It's compute engine instances, which are virtual machines, databases, and project quotas. For engine instances, same as before, availability. Here, interesting part is also firewall. You can monitor your firewall, how many packets have your firewall dropped and how many bytes. So you can act accordingly when those numbers are out of the ordinary. Same for memory networking. In LLD, here we can discover physical disks and their read bytes and write bytes. For databases, some resources, disk, memory, you can monitor audits. That's nice. For LLD stuff, you can see databases, resources, and schedulers. For databases, there are logs and transactions that have been started. Resources, we have deadlocks and locks for your resources. And schedulers, we can see active workers, tasks, operations, and queues. MySQL is also similar. Here's InnoDB engine metrics available as well. For Postgre, we have Postgre-specific metrics for our low-level discovery, such as the tuples, transactions, rows, and blocks. And project quotas, very simple. What are your limits, and how much have you used of this limit? So you can track your quotas. And then the very latest template integration that we have is with OpenStack. OpenStack is a bit different from the previous 3 because it's open sourced cloud platform, basically. You can host it on your own hardware and use it completely for free. Just the same as with previous three, there are many services available for OpenStack. And as it is very new, we only currently support one of those services, which is OpenStack Nova. It's for virtual machines. And we will look into that, what you can monitor here. So from general metrics, you can monitor your limits for a project. That is your instances, how many instances are allowed at maximum, how many are used now, and also how many are free. Same goes for your vCPU cores and RAM usage. And we have some stuff also that's being discovered, such as availability zones. Availability zones you create yourself, and those will be dynamically discovered, and you will see their state and host count, how many machines are under this availability zone. For compute services, as Nova is master service, there are multiple services underneath it, like scheduler, for example. If one of those services are not working, you might not be able to run your VMs, access VMs, or stop them, delete them. So it's important to also monitor them, their state, status, and if they have been disabled, the disabling reason for it. Hypervisors also, it's completely custom for each of the installations. You can have many hypervisors, you can have one, but VMs, those machines depend on hypervisor to work. So it's important to monitor their state, status, and also version. Servers itself, we do only monitor its status. You can see if some machine has failed or there's an error, or maybe its status is completely okay. Then on tenants, this is a bit interesting. You can monitor your tenant usage, which is resource usage, which is usually used for billing. For each tenant, you can see your total hours, and then how much this tenant has been working, and how many resources it has been used during those hours. So disk usage, memory usage, and CPU usage. This can be configured in 4, you'd say, time periods. You can configure this through user macro. Time periods are day until now, week until now, month until now, or year until now. And you can, based on that, you can monitor, for example, for a particular tenant, how many CPU hours he has been using this month, and this year, this day, this week. So that is all of our current cloud integrations. We are always working on adding more services to them to improve them. And if you have any suggestions, feel free to create feature requests. We will look at them and maybe even implement those services. So that's it from me. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Kristaps. Let's see. I did receive one question in a direct chat message. The question was, okay, I'm missing the chat. Essentially, the idea was, how often do we update these cloud templates?
When it's needed. If something is broken in our template because of some update in the cloud, then we will fix it, then we will update it. So the latest features for that cloud template are supported. But yeah, other than that, there's really no need on updating them. If nothing is broken, it's working.
Mm-hmm. And usually I think the information about templates being updated is contained in the release notes of minor versions. So
yeah.
Follow
if any
the release
updates,
notes,
then yeah.
and then you'll know when it's time to update. Not necessarily related to your topics, but someone's asking, there was previously a template available for HPE Nimble Sans, but it disappeared a few years ago. Will it ever come back? Not sure, Kristaps, if you can cover it.
Not really. I'm not on the page with that.
But once again, if you want for a template to be developed, create a feature request, and we'll take a look at it. Then there's something about, not sure if it's related to us, for collaboration, sending pull requests. I think it's required to send something by mail. Cannot this be done by simply send a signed by commit? Not sure if that's related to the presentation at hand.
I think for community templates, you have to send some extra information by mail about this template to be included in the community section. But yeah, I don't know about that workflow, so can't answer.
Neither do I. Feel free to ask that on our forums, for example.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll cover that by answering in the forum thread. Okay, and that looks like it. Thank you a lot, Kristaps. We received good positive feedback in the chat about the looks of your presentation. So there was one question, how did you get the presentation to look so good?
I don't know. Just hard work, you know.
Just hard work. That's the answer. Okay, thank you a lot. Thank you, everyone. This was the last speech for today. Thank you for attending. Let me remind you, Summit's coming up in October. Sign up, join us. You will be able to talk to our developers, integration team, myself, all of our management, and so on and so on. Chat with everyone. Throw your feedback our way, ask about upcoming features, and just simply partake in a lot of very great workshops, a lot of very great presentations, and learn about Zabbix use cases, case studies, and latest and upcoming features. Thank you a lot, guys, for attending. Follow us, and we'll see you in the next upcoming event or during the summit. Thank you, guys. Bye.